welcome to another edition of Deb Marlowe's Regency Kitchen. Today we're going to do a traditional Cornish recipe called Hevva cake. Some of you may be familiar with the Castle Kevner series of anthology books. I have been thrilled to take part in each collection. I've written 3 books so far, and the latest collection has just come out recently, and in it my book is called Miss Pennock and the Pixie's Poem. And Miss Louetta Pennock, is a bookseller in the village of Marlowe, which is right near Castle Kevner. At one point in the story, she serves some tea, and she decides to make one of her mother's favorites Cornish recipes, which is Hevva cake, and so I'm going to show you guys how to make it today. Hevva cake is a recipe that is associated with the fishing villages along the coast of Cornwall, and it was, the tradition is that a hewer was someone who would stand at the cliff tops and overlook the sea, and they would watch the ocean for signs of the giant schools of pilchard fish that were so important to the villagers for getting them through long winters, that kind of thing. And when they even had little hewer huts, some of them built up them for a little bit of shelter. And when the hewer saw the pilchards coming in, they would call Hevva, Hevva, and the fishermen would run out, get ready to go out and get a load of fish. And the women, when they heard the cry, they would head back to home and start making Hevva cake, and so it would be ready and warm for their husbands when their labor was done. Here are the ingredients for our Hevva cake. We've got flour, sugar, salt, cinnamon, ground ginger, a bit of lemon zest. Different recipes call for different sorts of dried fruit. I'm using a mixture of raisins and currants because that's what I have, and cold milk and cold diced butter. They might have used, well, they would have used lard way back in the day, but I don't have any lard, and I think actually butter will make it taste better. Okay, here I have all of the dry ingredients in the bowl and my lemon zest as well. And I'm going to add in the cold diced butter, and you're going to use your hands to mix it all together. I'm going to get a little messy with this one. And you're going to just combine everything with your hands until you get everything to the texture of breadcrumbs. Okay, as you can see, we've got everything combined, so there's no loose flour or sugar or anything. Everything's combined to the texture of breadcrumbs. And then we're going to add in our mixed fruits, currants and raisins. And I'm going to add milk to make a thick dough. I'm going to add a little bit of time to see how it comes together. Once I have the dough all incorporated together, I'm going to transfer it over onto a greased baking sheet. And I'm just going to use my fingers to spread it out. And you want it, it's not going to take up the whole pan. You want it to be about an inch thick. And once you have it all spread out in the right thickness, just take a little milk and spread on the top. This dough is pretty wet, so I don't think it needs a lot of milk. And then you're going to take a little extra sugar and sprinkle on top. And then, because of the history of the Hevva cake, one of the things that they say is that you always score the top of your Hevva cake because you want it to take on the look of the fishing nets for the fishermen for whom this was their special treat. Okay, now I'm going to throw it in the oven at 375 degrees for about 30 minutes, and we'll see how it turns out. So here is a slice of Hevva cake, all out of the oven and ready to go. And mine spread a little more than it probably should have, but it still tastes delicious. It's very cinnamony and full of all that good fruit. And if you try the recipe, I hope you enjoy.